If you are looking for the best gaming PC, you are in the right place. We have tried to include in-depth information on gaming PC in our video, which will be enough to fulfill all of your needs. All of them are maintaining their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturer, and real customer feedback. If you want to buy a gaming PC, we think this list will be very valuable to you. Now, let's get started with the video. At the first position of our list, we have IBUYPOWER Revolt 3-BG. No intense lighting, no glass windows, just a small tower packed with gaming power. The IBUYPOWER Revolt 3 has steel panels, black mesh, and a largely subtle design. It's clever, though, with 2 headset hangers and a built-in handle to carry it to your next LAN party. At $2,599 as tested with an Intel Core i7-11700KF and an RTX 3080, it's not listed at a crazy price considering today's component shortage. And those components offer excellent performance in this tiny chassis. Small form factor PC can bring some oddities. This one has the motherboard I/O on the bottom of the case, so you have to lift it up to plug in or remove peripherals. Additionally, there's limited room in this case for when you want to make upgrades. We also happen to like this case this system comes in on its own if you're looking to build your own PC. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Alienware Aurora 11. The Alienware Aurora 11 muscled its way onto our list with its sheer GPU power. Right now, it's really hard to find one of NVIDIA's Ampere GPU. But as of this writing, Alienware is shipping with both RTX 3080 and RTX 3090, so that's one way to go. The design is futuristic, and while it may be divisive to some, you can argue that it's fairly compact. The RTX 3090, compared with the Intel Core i10900K in our review unit, offered some top-notch gaming performance. It uses largely standardized parts and has plenty of room for extra drives. Advertisement. The biggest downside is that the machine gets loud with few case fans. It's also expensive, but it's a maxed-out machine, not just the graphics card. Read Alienware Aurora 11 review. The Alienware Aurora 11 has been supplanted by the Alienware Aurora R12. We haven't tested it yet, but if you're looking for the newest, you may want to try these configurations. Number 3 position is held by MSI Aegis RS 11th Gen. The MSI Aegis RS 11th is a top-of-the-line pre-built gaming desktop. The 11th Gen Intel Core CPU and options for an RTX 3080 bring awesome gaming performance in a design that you can upgrade yourself down the line. All of the parts are standardized, including the case. In fact, MSI makes the case, motherboard, CPU, cooler, fans, GPU, and power supply. This is the type of pre-built that you can upgrade, tinker with, and make your own over the next several years. If you don't have a keyboard and mouse, the peripherals that MSI includes are decent enough to get started, though you'll likely want to bump up the keyboard to something with mechanical switches eventually. Next, at number 4, we have CORSAIR ONE AP100. The CORSAIR ONE AP100 takes up minimal space on your desk, thanks to its tall, tower shape that crams in components. This desktop has an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080, both of which are liquid-cooled to offer top-end performance. It also came with 32 GB of RAM, a 1 TB, 2 SSD, and a 2.5 TB HDD for more games. Despite the powerful parts, the computer is largely quiet thanks to an effective cooling system that draws in cool air through the sides to cool the components and then expels hot air with a fan on the top. This can, however, make the system difficult to upgrade later, as everything is really packed into the 12-liter chassis. The downside to top-of-the-line components is the price. We tested the CORSAIR ONE AP100 at $3,799.99. The number 5 position is held by MAINGEAR Vybe 2020. Do you strictly need to spend more than $5,000 on a gaming PC? No, but you can, and you'll get a luxurious experience. The MAINGEAR Vybe is a gorgeous desktop thanks to options for automotive paint and a minimalistic design. And with its Apex liquid cooling, it's stunningly quiet. That's even when running an overclocked Intel Core i10900K at 5.3 GHz. Between that chip and an RTX 2080 Ti, the system provides incredible gaming performance. One big area you may want to configure differently is our review unit, which used a budget Intel 665 SSD. but you can make this thing to order, including AMD Ryzen options. If you prefer something a bit smaller that's still a splurge, the MAINGEAR Turbo has the same build quality, though you can only get it with Ryzen CPU. Number 6 position is dominated by Dell G5. The Dell G5 is small for a mid-tower, and can play most games at mid or high settings at an affordable price. If you want to get into PC gaming, and don't care to focus on tinkering too much, it's a good choice, though there are a ton of configuration options. The G5 also has a lot of ports on the front and on the rear, making it easy to expand with peripherals and external storage. Inside, expansion options include extra room in hard drive cages and M2 2280 slots. Moving on to the next at number 7 with HP OMEN 30L. The HP OMEN 30L is a big box gaming PC that feels like one you built. The latest design adds more airflow with an intake fan, plus sleek glass front and side panels, and still has an easy access panel to get to the most critical components. Oh, and of course the new intake fan has some sleek RGB to go with the new logo and the rest of the system. The version we tested, with a 10th gen Intel Core i9 and an RTX 3080 proved powerful in our gaming benchmarks and productivity tests. We do wish that HP had a more powerful CPU cooler, as the single 120mm fan isn't always enough for the Intel Core i9. The addition of name brand parts is also nice to see. There's little, if anything, proprietary about the system, which includes a micro ATX motherboard, WD Black S, SD, Seagate HDD, and a 750W power supply. That's the special sauce that makes it feel a bit more like an enthusiast machine than some alternatives. The number 8 position is held by Alienware Aurora Ryzen Edition. The Aurora Ryzen Edition takes over the top spot from the Intel builds. The AMD Ryzen processors of the new generation are exemplary in terms of both performance and price, and with the potential for a 16-core, 32-thread chip inside your Alienware gaming PC. Alongside an NVIDIA RTX 3090, you are looking at something rather special, but the lower end has something to offer too. The different configurations on offer mean that for $1,249 you can get a 6-core machine with a GTX 1650 Super inside it that will handle 1008 gaming in that sleek Alienware chassis. It does have to be said that there is an Alienware premium attached to whichever components you choose. However, the higher than average price provides you with reliable build quality, exceptional customer service, and solid warranties. The numerous prefab options offered by Alienware also help eliminate much of the guesswork associated with customizing your system. Some options provide better value for the parts used, but for hassle-free PC gaming out of the box, it's tough to beat the ease of use that Alienware provides. Next at number 9, we have Alienware Aurora R12. While the extraterrestrial styling may not appeal to everyone, their performance remains undeniable. The freshly minted Aurora R12 uses the same compact design as its R9 and R10 forebears, and gives the new Intel 11th Gen processors. NVIDIA RTX 30 series GPU have a home in Alienware's Aurora chassis. There are 6 different configurations of Comet Lake CPU to choose from. The Core i5 of 11400F, Core i5 of 11600KF, Core i7 11700F, Core i7 11700KF, Core i9 10900F, and Core i9 11900KF. They're paired with NVIDIA GPU from the GTX 1650 Super up to the unfeasibly expensive RTX 3090. That gives you a range of Alienware gaming machines from reasonably affordable 1008 gaming right up to blistering 4K workload-smashing performance, and the Alienware AIO cooling system will help keep the cozy interior of the case at a reasonable temperature too. Now, we're not entirely sold on the high-end Rocket Lake 11th Gen CPU, but the fact that Alienware is now offering the Core i5 of 11600KF in its Intel range is a great shout. Thanks to their Cypress Cove core architecture, the new Intel Core i5 chips make great gaming CPU and would probably be our pick for a new Aurora R12 build. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by CyberpowerPC Infinity X19 Gaming PC. When you buy a new PC, you're essentially looking for a powerful system that offers decent value for money from a reliable company. You want it to look good as well. Quiet running wouldn't hurt. Throw in a graphics card that you can't buy for love or money, and you have the CyberPower Infinity X19 Gaming PC, a machine that has more lights than your average Christmas tree. More fans in the dome at the end of the crystal maze. Okay, there are 5 case fans, packs the latest hardware, and yet is incredibly quiet in use. And all for a thoroughly good pile of cash. Consider us impressed. For just over $2,000, you get a powerful 10-core, 20-thread Intel Core and an i8-10850K, which, thanks to the Cooler Master Liquid Light 240 cooler, happily sits at 4.9 GHz most of the time. You also get a GeForce RTX 3070, which is a solid mid to high-end card. It'll handle 1000 A-type and 1404 type gaming brilliantly. We saw 128th in Division 2, 139th in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and 110th at 1000 A-type. All silky smooth. 4K can be a bit of a stretch, but not outside the realms of possibility as well. The rest of the spec is pretty much what you'd hope for at this price point, although the SSD is a little on the small side for my taste. 500 GB is fine, but I'd recommend upgrading to a 1 TB model at order time for a bit of extra, to give you more space for your most played games. You do get a 2 TB hard drive at standard too, so it's not like you're going to run out of space anytime soon. That's all for today. All the product links in the description down below. We upload videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification.